Hey, what up, everybody? Stevie Breach coming to you here today. We're about 20-something hours into the news cycle of CM Punk. We've heard just about every inch, every nick and cranny of this story, and man, oh man, I am still as hungry and thirsty for any side of this story as I can get my hands on. CM Punk is yet to deliver his next tweet saying what he's going to do next, but I found Cole Cabana's last tweet pretty funny, just asking people to direct message him their CM Punk questions, and he would be happy to answer, knowing that he doesn't follow anybody, so he can't answer any of them because he can't get any. Ha! Ba-da-ping! But I guess the last side of the story is the match that we just have to sit back and wait to be named. We've seen them start the story on... well, the story's been going for a little while, but we've seen them really start to build toward the match on Monday with Daniel Bryan coming out there, just basically getting right up in Triple H's face. And, calling him out, making sure that he wasn't in the Royal Rumble, saying that, he was in the match with Bray, which sort of didn't make sense to me because he was sort of calling him out, saying that, he couldn't be in the Rumble because he already had a match. The only reason why he had a match is because he challenged Bray to begin with. I guess if he never would have challenged Bray, he would have been in the Rumble, either that or he just wouldn't have been booked on the show at all. Kind of like Dolph Ziggler last year at Elimination Chamber when he was the Money in the Bank guy, and everybody thought that was the reason why he was going to be able to cash in. But, they used a lot of guys in double duty. You had Goldust and Cody Rhodes were in the pre-show kickoff party to the Royal Rumble, and then they were also put in to the Royal Rumble itself. So, their whole thing of wanting to protect Daniel Bryan and protect guys from not doing double duty sort of didn't really make sense. But hey, as long as we're getting this match, that's all that matters. WWE is pretty smart. They're going to stack this card the way they're going to, they know they're going to get the best reactions. I think they learned a huge lesson going back to WrestleMania, Triple H versus Chris Jericho in the main event. They should have not really. Maybe if you go to WrestleMania 25, you can look at that one and say maybe Randy Orton and Triple H didn't need to be the main event of that show. Maybe if you look at it, maybe Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, but I don't think anybody really knew how good Undertaker and Shawn Michaels was really going to be. I know that Shawn always has good matches. I know Taker normally has good matches, but I think that match exceeded a lot of people's expectations of what that was going to be, and I think maybe that's what killed the crowd down to where, they weren't really into that main event. One of my favorite quotes of all time was asking my buddy Miguel, freaking 88, about being there, and he was saying if he wouldn't have paid so much money for a seat and to be there on that experience, he was just so drained that he could have easily fallen asleep during that match. And I don't think when they write up this card, I don't think there's a match that has any more feeling, can get any kind of reaction or anything other than Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. This storyline has so much just built up aggression in it from these crowds, just trying to get Daniel Bryan to the point where WWE will realize how good he is and how much he means to that company. I know that, they paid Daniel Bryan a good load of money to do what he does. They've made him the WWE champion twice, but on TV, they've taken it away. I'm not saying that in the real life, WWE, they don't treat him right, but in the storyline, the show that we watch on Mondays and Fridays, and sometimes on Sundays, they don't treat him right. They treat him like he's just there. They want to make money off of him. They like that, we go there, but in storyline, we don't go to see Daniel Bryan. We go to see Randy Orton, the faces of the WWE, so on and so forth. And we need to show the characters, Triple H and Stephanie, Vince McMahon, that Daniel Bryan is the guy that we go to see. I know WWE knows that they're making a lot of money off what's going on with the Yes Movement and so on and so forth. But that match needs to close the show. I know that Batista came back and he hasn't wrestled in 3 years. I know that Randy Orton's been the champion for so many days. And the fact of the matter is, by looking at the Royal Rumble, there's a lot of Batista fans out there, but nobody will give a shit about this match. There's nothing that they can build up. There's nothing they can do. There's no angles. You can't put Batista into some ambulance and run it over with some fucking semi. It's just another match. Maybe Batista will go to the WrestleMania and become the champion. I would bet money on it. I think that's an easy bet to say that he is going there in order to win the big one and put him up on the big I guess you'd say pedestal of being, WWE champion. Why else would he come back? I mean, I'm pretty sure that when they told Batista that he was coming back to WWE, they promised him that he was going to win the Rumble. They promised him that he was going to go to WrestleMania, and they promised him that he was going to win the belt. I'm pretty sure that's lock solid the way it's going to go. Maybe I wouldn't have said that last week, but now that he's won the Royal Rumble, why do you have this guy win the Rumble, go to Mania, making this big deal about this guy, and not have him win it? I know that you can say, well, Sheamus didn't win. I know you can say that fucking Del Rio didn't win, and they've done it. But those guys are normal wrestlers. That's there day in, day out, and it's part of the story that's going to be there. Nobody really knows how long that Batista's going to be there. We all know that he's probably going to have to go off and do some sort of media tour once that fucking Marvel movie comes out. I don't know a whole bunch about it. But I don't even know if he's the main character in the fucking movie, but they treat him like he is, and that he's a big deal in it. But I know that I'm treating Batista like he's The Rock, and we all know that Batista's working house shows, because if it wasn't for him working the house shows and whoever put those tickets for sale up and used Batista picture and said that Batista would be there, we wouldn't have been able to jump the gun on when Batista was coming back. I'm not 100% sure that Batista, I don't think he signed a year deal. I don't think he signed a 2-year deal. I'm pretty sure that he would sign a deal that's just a couple of months, come back, do his thing, and go back home to doing what he was doing. I don't think at his age he can work a normal schedule of going day in and day out over and over and over and over again. We've already seen people are picking apart the big power bomb that he does. He doesn't go all the way down with it anymore. He just sort of picks them up and heaves them on down. It's still fucking badass. Still makes us all pop, but we all just really remember the way Batista used to do it. And it's just not the way he does it anymore. But in this match, Daniel Bryan needs to have that moment of closing out that show. It's not going to have the same feeling if you have him do the running knee. He goes out, he kicks fucking, I guess he doesn't kick him, but he knees Triple H right in the fucking forehead and lays him out and pins him, and 70,000 people in that Superdome are all chanting, yes, 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 and we're beating the shit out of each other out there in the stands because we're all going crazy. I was there in the Staples Center in LA for SummerSlam when it happened, and then they took it away from him. I know that, he didn't get to close out that show except for, being laid out on his back, and it was all about the authority with Randy Orton and Triple H, and, that's what it was about. But this is fucking WrestleMania, and this is what they've been building up to. That's why they let him beat John Cena. That's why they let him beat Randy Orton, not once, but twice, and still took the belt away from him. Daniel Bryan is the guy that we're going to WrestleMania to see. I know that we bought these tickets a long time ago, but I know that almost every single person that's going to be going there is hoping to see one moment of Daniel Bryan closing out the show. Yes, it is a crime. I'm not the biggest CM Punk fan in the world, but Punk should have closed out of WrestleMania now. He's one of those guys, but Daniel Bryan is going to do it, and he's going to do it first. It doesn't make any sense in the world if you have Daniel Bryan win that match against Triple H, and he's yesing, and they cut to the back to do a fucking promo for the Divas match that's in between that match and Batista versus Randy Orton. No one's going to give a shit about that match, and especially if there's a Divas match before that, and then you go to Batista versus Randy Orton. I don't think anybody's going to leave, but we're going to fucking hijack that show, and it's going to be about shit you don't even want to know about. We're going to be chanting for Daniel Bryan. We want Slurpees. We want pizza. Change the channel. I don't fucking know, but it's going to be awesome. And for the people that don't think Triple H knows what the fuck he's doing and he's going to want to close out that show and win that main event, from a big, huge fan of Triple H, there's not a chance in hell. I think that Triple H, there's a part of him that does still help out his friends. Yes. More than likely, if he wouldn't got to the job he was in, Road Dogg, Badass Billy Gunn, I don't think, guys like that would still be there. But, I mean, even if fucking, Vince McMahon was still 100% in charge, with Stephanie and Triple H was just some dude that never married her, he'd probably still be fucking wrestling in the main event. You'd have fucking Orton still being there. More than likely, Batista might have left, but he probably would have came back. Vince would have showed him the money. These things that people keep pointing out, maybe you can say the Outlaws. All right, I'll give you the Outlaws. But fucking Shawn Michaels would still be making appearances here and there. But I honestly think he has closed the door on his wrestling career. His career is done. Will he come back and will he wrestle matches? Yes, he's going to take that Vince McMahon, role. But when you look at fucking Vince McMahon matches, how many matches has he ever fucking really won? But how many of them do you remember? He gets the shit kicked out of him in every match, and you look at it like, how the fuck does he get up and how does he do it? It's how you believe in his character. And Vince McMahon was the guy that was the owner of WWE, who was the announcer of WWE in the past, and we still found him believable. Triple H is a fucking 14-time champion, I'm pretty sure. And, people know he can fight. I mean, he's the guy who's going to go out there and have matches. Maybe 1, maybe 2 a year for the rest of his career, but he's not going to put his ego in the way where he knows, I'm going to bury these guys, because he's about the company. If he buries these guys, there is no fucking company. Triple H is going to put Daniel Bryan over in the main event, fucking 100% guarantee. And it's going to be a huge moment for all of us that are going to be there. A ton of you guys out there who's not, buying tickets to go to New Orleans. You guys are going to be watching it on your TVs, your computers, your tablets, your iPhones, this, that, and the other. Hopefully, you'll get your own fucking network and you won't be standing over on a rock in somebody's front yard looking through their window watching theirs. But, you guys are going to be marking out at home too. Everybody wants to see this moment. It's going to happen. Main event. Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. Bryan's going to win. We're all going to be yesing our asses off. Peace out. I got to go home.